All right, in this video we're looking through 11 through 15, and we're going to try to figure out which dot between A through E belongs to which square root. So let's start with the square root of 50 here, okay? Well, again, square root of 50 is not a perfect square, but we know that the closest perfect square to 50 below it is 49. The square root of 49 equals 7. And the one above it is 64, which equals 8. So I know that 50 is somewhere between 7 and 8. The square root of 50 is somewhere between 7 and 8. And I know that obviously 50 is closer to 49. So it's going to be really close to 7. So I know it's between 7 and 8, but it's going to be closer to 7. So obviously the one closest to 7 is E. So the square root of 50 belongs to point E. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to number 12 here. The square root of 103. Okay, 103 is not a perfect square, but I know the square root of 100 is just below it. And the square root of 100 is 10. And the square root of 121 is above it. And it's the closest one above it, so it equals 11. So the square root of 103 is going to be somewhere between 10 and 11. Okay, so I know it's over here. Well, this one's kind of simple because there's only one dot there. But again, looking at 103, it's pretty close to 100, meaning the dot's going to be closer to 10 than it is 11. And obviously, point A right there is the only one in that section, but it is close to 10. So 103 is going to be point A. All right, 13, 62. The square root of 62 is not a perfect square, but the one that's closest and smaller than 62 is 49, which is equal to 7. And the one that's bigger than 62 is 64, which is equal to 8. So I know it's between 7 and 8. Okay, so it's 7 and 8. And it's going to be closer to 60. 64 is closest to 62. So that means my decimal is going to be closer to 8. And it's the other one here. So see how that D is close to 8. So that means the square root of 62 is going to be point D. Okay, 14. The square root of 90 is not a perfect square. Okay, let's find the two that are closest. The one below 90 is 81, which is equal to 9. And the one right above it is 100, which is equal to 10. So it's somewhere between 9 and 10. Okay. And look, there's only one that's close to 9 and 10. But, again, the square root of 90. So it's 9 away from 81 and 10 away from 100. So just barely is it going to be closer to 9 than it is the 10. And, again, the only one that's really in that space is C. So number 14 is C. And by process of elimination, we can figure out that 15 is going to be B, but let's figure it out because, you know, I'm pretty weird and I like doing these things. Okay, so we know that 37 is not a perfect square. The one right below it is 36, and the square root of 36 is 6. The one above it is 49, and the square root of 49 is 7. So I know it's between 6 and 7. Okay. And again, looking at the square roots, 37 is really, really close to 36. So that means the decimal is going to be closer to 6. And wouldn't you know it, there it is, really close to 6. So 15 is B. So again, to estimate square roots, you find the two perfect squares, that one that's smaller, one that's bigger. And then by using that, you can find out the square root is closer to one of the numbers. And then it makes it really easy to make the dot, or in this case, pick which dot belongs to which square root. So that's how you do this section.